I had to reset the settings again this morning for some reason. So, hey, we're coming to the conclusion of our fall youth retreat. Uh, God's been faithful, I think, and I've seen His hand work in our lives. Um, Last night I told a blonde joke, and you may have heard it, but I asked permission from the blondes first. We're uh, just in fun. There's a blonde that went down to the bayou in Louisiana, and she wanted some authentic alligator boots. And so she went into a store, and they were so expensive. And she tried to Jew the guy down and talk him into um, a lesser price. And they just out of reach. So she just stomped out of the store, and she says, "I'm going to go get my own." So I'll go catch my own alligator. And the store owner says, "Well, be my guest. I hope you get a big one." And he chuckled, and she left the store. On the way home, he went to Vegas. He saw this gal out there with a shotgun. She waded out in the water waist high, and here comes a 9-foot alligator. That fly's getting to me. A 9-foot alligator swimming right toward her. And just the last minute, as he opened his mouth, she blasted him with a shotgun and killed him. And that little gal, she drugged that alligator, everything she had to drag that alligator and carry her gun. Got that alligator up to shore, and then he noticed there's a pile of alligators there. And as she flipped that alligator over on its back, he heard her say, "Darn, another one that doesn't have shoes." So it's always a problem. Uh, no shoes. Well, we've been talking about our identity in Christ. What an awesome topic for the summer camps, and for us to think about our identity in Christ. And I've talked quite about a bit about that on our devotions in the morning here over the last month or two, maybe longer than that. And I got to thinking as we close out this morning that I was going to contrast what it was to be um, in Christ and what it was to not be in Christ. In other words, before Christ, before salvation, and after salvation, and to contrast those two. But I realized there was a third area that we need to contrast, because even after we come to Christ, there are two categories: those who are walking in the flesh and those who are walking in the Spirit. And what a contrast that is. And when we're walking in the flesh, our identity is marred and it's twisted and it misrepresents who Jesus is. When we're walking in the Spirit, as Romans 8 says, we shall not fulfill the desires of the flesh. And so there's really being in the flesh and in the Spirit. So there's three categories: before Christ, after Christ, in the Spirit, and in the flesh. And that's, I think, what we're going to talk about this morning. And we're going to work on those contrasts and an evaluation. Where are we and who are we? Are we in Christ, walking in the Spirit? Are we in Christ, walking in the flesh? Are we not in Christ? Are we still children of the devil, walking in darkness? Or are we saved, born again, redeemed by the blood of the Lamb, walking in the light of His Spirit? So that's where we're going today in chapel, I think. And there's a lot of kids here that are coming with a lot of baggage. I guess that's about any group that you meet with. We have those who's face some really hard losses in their lives. Parents, cousins, siblings. There's those that have really a struggle with a sense of rejection. And there's those that are really in tune and they're walking in the Spirit, and they're just an example of what it is to know Jesus and to walk in Him. You have everything here at camp. And so I'd ask that you would pray with me that we'd be able to connect with people where they're at, with campers where they're at this morning. So have a great day, and I will touch base with you tomorrow. Blessings, everybody. Good morning, Bo.